Welcome to episode 23 of Take Your Points. My name is Ronan Scott. This week's show we're focusing solely on the Rossa Camogs of 2008. That was the team that won the All-Ireland final, but their journey began many years beforehand. Rossa had won the championship during the noughties, they'd won Ulster, but finally got to the All-Ireland in 06. Unfortunately they lost that year, but they came back stronger in 07 and they believed they could win until they met Cashel in the All-Ireland semi-final. It's fair to say that the start of 08, the mood wasn't good. Their story begins with Jane Addams.
There's no way that in 2008 we thought we could win an All-Ireland. There was lots of things that happened in 2007 that made me just think we weren't good enough. We got beat by Cashel in the All-Ireland semi-final in Newry, and actually we got stuffed. So I thought that was our all. I thought that all the years of dreaming had all just been shot to pieces. I didn't think we were ever going to be winning one. Not only that, we had three of our key players, our full quarterback or half back line had all left, and they were all leaders in our team. They were all great people on our team, and they were all brilliant players in our team. On top of that, we lost our management of Jim Nelson, who was unbelievable, had taken us to a new level, had taken us from knowing we could win Antrim Championship, Ulster Championship, to believing that we could win an All-Ireland. So 2008 started off very badly for us.
We only won our first championship, Antrim Championship in 2000, after many, many years of trying. But then we won 2000, 2002, 2004, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We won more championships in that short period than we had in our whole, obviously, existence. Now, a lot of the groundwork was done with the juvenile players that we had before that. We had won the All-Ireland Féile in 95. Jane Addams, Kerry O'Neill, Shannon Dykin were all members of that winning team. So the groundwork was set as well. We also had a lot of players who had coming through playing universities, Camogie. So myself and Maureen Barry had won Ashburn with Jordanstown. A lot of the girls had played with Queen's or Jordanstown had come through. We also had a lot of county experience. In the 97 team, Junior All-Ireland Antrim team, there were a number of us on the panel. In the 2001, when we beat Derry in the All-Ireland Intermediate final, there were 7 of us on the starting team. So, in 2003 again, there was 5 of us on the Antrim team that won the Intermediate All-Ireland. So, the groundwork was being put in. And, I think we all just decided, we are good enough to do this. Let's not just settle for Antrim Championships or Ulster Championships. We all wanted an All-Ireland. We actually won the Kilmacud Sevens in 2003, Division 1, and we also won Division 1 again in 2008. So, we had won a lot of competitions around the country and played against a lot of the best opposition around the country, and we knew we had it in us, and we knew we had the skills and the determination in it to win it. Jim Nelson came in and probably brought the professionalism to another level. Our training was upped. We had input from nutritionists, from strength and conditioning coaches. We were doing body pump and weights before a lot of hurling teams were even doing them. We had a lot of years of foundation and hard work put behind us before we actually got our first All-Ireland in 2006 and then 2008.
My memories of the 2007 season are of putting in a great performance in the county final against Lochiel. We had a great victory over Lochiel in 2007, which was a really closely contested county final. It was an exceptional game. The semi-final was against Cashel. In between, we had lots of friendlies. We played challenge matches against hurling teams, which traditionally Rossa always did in the Camogie team, to try and speed up our game. But Cashel, on the day of the semi-final, were exceptional. They played unbelievably well, and they themselves said after that semi-final that they had never played like that before, and we were unfortunate to meet them on that day. And I reckon any other day Rossa would have taken Cashel, but that day was Cashel's day, and they were exceptional and totally deserved their victory.
We started the season on the back of 2 All-Ireland semi-finals and an All-Ireland final. the year before, and I think as a team we really thought that this could be the year that we could win the All-Ireland final. We played Cashel then in the All-Ireland semi-final in Newry, and Cashel that day were absolutely superb. They out-hurled us in every position all over the park, and they just played superb camogie. I mean, when a team clicks, they really played well, and Cashel went on that year to win the All-Ireland title.
Within 10 minutes, I knew we were getting beat, and I have a never say die attitude. Within 10 minutes, I just thought, we are getting stuffed here. What was I thinking? Why did I believe that for so long that we were as good as this team? These are brilliant. And my All-Ireland dream right there and then after that match just died completely. Straight after, I don't think I talked to anybody for about 2 weeks. I just wanted a wee break, and that's how 2007 went. Not much more I can say. It was devastation. But there was no, at that stage, well, next year we'll come back and we'll be so much better next year and we can win this. My All-Ireland hopes, right at that minute in time that we got beat by Cashel in Newry, I thought, that's it. It's done. It's been too long now, Jane. You're never going to win an All-Ireland. There's a lot of people that's going to leave this team because they've given so much, they've sacrificed so much, and now their time has come that they want to move on and do other things. You're never going to win an All-Ireland here, kid. You just gotta think it's not happening.
2008 for Rossa didn't start as a great year. We went into the Ulster League without a manager. We were in a bit of disarray. Now, not everything was a disaster. We still had our fitness to pull on. We were exceptionally experienced team. We knew all the players around us. But we were in disarray. We didn't have a manager, we had players taking the training on a rotational basis. We went in to the Ulster League and were beaten by people that wouldn't have come within 10 points of us. So at the beginning of 2008, there was a bit of panic and thinking, will we even win a county championship? Never mind winning All-Ireland.
We had no management. Myself and the other committee members had asked 40 people to take us, and that's no exaggeration. We asked 40 people, going from having the best management setup that anybody could have dreamed of all over Ireland, and that includes any hurling or football coaching. We had the best coaching, I believe, for a number of years. So we didn't have that coaching setup anymore. It was a big blow. We asked the 40 people to take us, each and every one said no. So behind the scenes, the committee were a wee bit panicking. And to be honest, we try to shelter it away from the rest of the players as much as we could, because there were so many young players in our team. So we try to shelter that away from them.
So we just rallied together and we trained ourselves, and each key player, like you have Jane Adams, Grania Connolly, those main people took training sessions. We asked other people to drop in and out. We Gavin Bell, one of the other players, Brona's husband, came in, take a few sessions. So we begged and pleaded people to sort of have some sort of belief in us. But by April time we still had no management, so the mood was really, really low. And did we think we were going to win the All-Ireland? Certainly not.
We kept continuing to beg people, we tortured people. We probably tortured Mickey McCulloch the most, and thank God we did, because in the end he decided that, okay, I'll give this team a wee shot. He'd already been involved with us for a number of years previous to that, but he'd always just been like next to Jim or helping out, and now it was Mickey's chance to take the team, and it was completely different from what Jim used to do. We went on a couple of matches down to Dublin and we put names of the team into a hat. So whenever you picked out the name, that was who played that position. So number one name came picked out was, say, Trees Adams. Trees Adams went in the nets. Got the midfield. Trees McGowan, who usually plays nets, is, there's Trees McGowan. So now we've picked out Trees McGowan for midfield. I think I played cornerback that day. So he did things a wee bit differently. I think he put in a wee bit of, brought back a wee bit of the fun element, and not so serious and not so professional, but still very, very serious whenever it was leading up to the games.
Mickey took us to a different level. He knew what we were capable of, but he also knew how to bring the best out in us all. So Mickey came in along with Ronan McWilliams. Ronan focused on the defence and our defensive tactics, and Mickey focused on our forwards and our forwards tactics. We just had a different mindset, and I think that's a big thing. You know, winning is as much mental as it is physical. He brought on a lot of our younger players were brought through who were only 16 or 17. Now these girls I had coached since they were 12 for a lot of years, so them stepping onto the senior panel, it was tough for them, but the fact that I was their familiar face who had coached them through the years and taught a lot of them as well in school, you know, that made a difference as well to them. They didn't feel out of place. They didn't feel like they didn't belong. They felt that, you know, this was their place and they were good enough. And Mickey instilled that belief in them a lot. He instilled the belief that, yes, you might be young, but if you're good enough, you're old enough.
The last 4 years we'd been in the All-Ireland season, and it is a long season. You're training from January right through to November, so you don't get much of a break when the next season comes round. So maybe the break did us good, but we definitely started later in the season to step up our training.
In 2008, as I say, we had a change of players. We had about 5 or 6 players, experienced players from the team that started in 2006 that had retired. So we had to rebuild, and our back line was very young. We had a back line of mostly teenagers apart from Pauline Green. So, you know, they had no fear. They didn't fear anybody, and they knew they were good enough because Mickey had told them they're good enough. We'd played against the best and we'd beaten the best. So, you know, they didn't know what it was like to watch a senior team from Rossa get beat, because they had come through since 2000, obviously, watching for the last 8 years, us winning championship after championship. So for them to be part of that gave them confidence in themselves, knowing that they had the players with the experience around them.
We also lost 3 main players, Ciara Nelson, Ciara McGinley and Maureen Barry. The 2 Ciaras were off to have a family, and Maureen decided to retire. So 3 key players who were in the defence, and that was a massive blow to Rossa. They were the starting 15 for many years, from way back when we started winning county finals. So again, the feel amongst the team was devastating.
In July, I found out that I was pregnant, so I was going to miss the rest of the season. And for me, when you're so used to playing camogie and you're so used to training and going to matches, and that changes, it's strange, and you really do miss it.
The year was manic for everyone, I think. Personally, myself, I was in my final year of nursing. I was working 2 jobs to try and fund that, as well as obviously normal lifestyle. I had considered at the start of the year to play camogie because, you know, what had happened in 2007, but also personally because going through university I had got into more than enough trouble by dodging placement and skipping deadlines, and I thought, you know, it's my final year, let's get stuck in, let's get focused. When the training became quite tough and hard mid-April time, May, when Mickey and Ronan came on board, I just couldn't see myself not playing camogie, and I suppose it was one of those things in the back of my head, you know, when the seriousness starts, you know, I'll stop, and you know, when I need to start missing things, I'll missing uni deadlines, I'll stop, but I couldn't help myself, you know. I have my 2 sisters that play on the team, my mummy's there at every match, and I thought, well, no, I can't do that, you know, we're in this together, we're going to finish it off, we'll finish this year and see how it goes.
The Antrim Championship was probably some of the hardest games we played. Our games against Lochiel and Dunloy every year were high-paced championship level. You would never went out and played against Lochiel or Dunloy and had an easy game. Like our game against Lochiel and Dunloy were harder than the All-Ireland semi-final. Was harder than the All-Ireland semi-final against Athenry in 2006, and harder than our All-Ireland semi-final against Ballyboden in 2008.
I suppose the preparations for that All-Ireland semi-final just weren't in the days and weeks before. It was actually happening for years, and the managers had done a fantastic job in the lead up. In particular, Jim Nelson, who'd put on years of service and brought the skill level to a phenomenal degree, where the girls were just fabulous to watch and to play with, and you were always improving. I suppose the managers like Mickey McCullough and Ronan McWilliams did add an extra physicality to the team that year. But there were girls who were unfortunate to miss out, who'd been stalwarts of the team. You had likes of Ciara McGinley and Ciara Nelson, who never missed anything. They were having family that year, and they were doing everything else other than playing. They really supported us 100%, and the rest of the team just played out of their skins that day. I suppose the most special thing was that it was in Casement Park. It was a home venue. The atmosphere was spine tingling, and I suppose the match in general was just poetry in motion. It was a very convincing win and just a wonderful memory.
Our All-Ireland semi-final was unreal. I mean, we played better that day than we did in the All-Ireland final. You know, we played in Casement. To us, that was our home. Mickey had brought us all up to Rossa first. We did our warm-up in Rossa. We got changed in Rossa. And then we went down to Casement. We were getting ready, and Mickey held out a bag of grass. We were all looking at him, and he said, "Put it in your boot." We were like, "Why?" He says, "This mightn't be Rossa. This is our home pitch today, but take a bit of home with you and put it in your boot. Because when you walk out there, you'll be walking out in Rossa Park." And that had a big impact on players as well. And he also had gone into the houses of some of his, to our parents obviously, and family or whoever, and asked for an item of ours which was very special to us. So he had taken my camera, and my camera went everywhere with me. So when he produced it in the changing rooms, I looked at him and was like, "How did you get my camera?" And he said, "I went into your home and took it." And I was like, "What?" He says, "Exactly." He says, "You wouldn't let somebody go into your home and take something that belongs to you. So don't let Ballyboden go out here into your home and take what belongs to you." And that's the place in the All-Ireland final.
Leading up to right through to the All-Ireland semi-final, I'd probably been averaging around maybe 110, 190 a game. So whenever we got onto the field, first of all, I tripped over my own feet. Secondly, a ball came in towards me and I dropped the ball. I got flicked off, pushed off where I normally usually wouldn't get pushed off very, very easily. So I was starting to worry, oh my God, this is the worst game I've ever played. This can't continue. What am I going to do? This is just devastating. You can't get to another All-Ireland semi-final and just blow up, Jane. You have to do something about this. So half-time couldn't come quick enough. I think I scored 2 points, and I think both of them were from frees. It was just, oh no, it's better not happen again.
The first half was a nervy performance. You know, everybody stepped up. Jane had a nervous first half, didn't play the way she normally played, but it didn't matter because the rest of the team stepped up. Second half, Jane blew everybody away, and the team did itself. The score spoke for itself. 3-18 to 0-6. Who scores 3-18 in an All-Ireland semi-final? Nobody would have beat us. Absolutely nobody. So
got into the changing room. Mickey McCullough said to me, "What are you doing? What is it you're doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm tripping over my own feet. I'm not too sure. I think it was just nervous." And it's very bad to say it because I never got nervous in most other games. So out pops Mickey. "You're better than this. This is your chance. You're on your favourite pitch in your hometown. Get out and show them what you can do." So we all took to the field, and in fairness, our whole team really, really rallied around, and we were beating St Enda's. We were beating them. I think we were beating them well. But as soon as I got out on the second half, I got the ball and I put it over the bar. I got another ball afterwards and I put it under the bar, got a goal out of it. I think Mickey had told everybody, "Get the ball to me," because the more ball that I had, the more confidence that I would get. So coming off that game, I had scored 2-11 in total, so 2-9 in the second half. I went from having the worst experience in any game, probably the worst game I've ever played in one half, to playing extremely better in the second half. But that was because the rest of my team rallied around me. The rest of the team picked me up whenever I needed to be picked up, and I was very thankful for it. Thank God that they did, because now our dream of being in an All-Ireland final had again come to light when we didn't think it was ever going to happen again. So thank God for my team that day.
The other difference was that all the young players had come onto the team, while that might have been the first All-Ireland that they had played in, they had experienced All-Irelands before, from the people that were on the under-14 Féile team that won the All-Ireland, right through to the people that were part of the panel in previous All-Ireland matches. So although they might have been new to starting, They were in no way short of experience of playing matches on the big day. They had plenty of experience in the run-in up to 2008 because Rossa were always a top team and they were always in the semi-finals and meeting finals previously, and they had all that experience to bring with them.
After the match, it was unreal. You know, we had all our parents and our family and friends and club mates and club members all on the pitch celebrating. It was unreal. It was really a very good day. It was a day to be very proud of, and we were very proud of each other and we're very proud of our performances. And you know, we knew, okay, we'd won, but we hadn't won anything yet. We hadn't got that All Ireland in our back pocket. We hadn't got the Bill Carroll Cup. So, you know, although we enjoyed it, don't get us wrong, there was still work to be done, and there was still a lot of thinking, a lot of mental preparation to be done. You know, our fitness levels were what they were going to be. They weren't going to get much better than that. But it was the mental, and it was the getting the right mindset and being mindful of what was in front of us. So after the All Ireland semi-final, you know, everybody was elated. It was fantastic, but because it was a perfect performance. It was a perfect performance for us, but we knew that we had one more step. We weren't prepared to come back up the road again from Ashburn without the Bill Carroll Cup. Losing just wasn't an option.
I can actually remember the day of the All Ireland final, the match itself. It was a roasting day, like one of the kind of days that you would think, God, it's too warm to play a match. But everybody was absolutely flying, everyone was buzzing. We all peaked at the same time.
Got onto the bus and headed towards Ashburn for the game. I remember coming into the gates and the song Journey, Don't Stop Believing was, I think it was number 1 at the time, and everybody shouted down to the bus driver, turn it up, and the whole team going into the All Ireland final started to sing it. That's a really good memory because I just thought, this is like my family. This is, my wee sister Claire's up in Royal Victoria Hospital having a baby, and I'm on this bus with all these people, with my sisters and all these people that I've shared a lot of years with, and having them all on the bus with me singing that song, having thoughts about Claire, all just conjured up inside me, and I couldn't wait to play.
I remember in the first half of the final, the Drummond goalkeeper came off her line to clear the ball, and I managed to block her, and the ball had broken, and Jane Adams, as she was always there to back me up, came in, dipped the ball, and as cool as she liked, put the ball in the back of the net, and I knew from there that this was going to be our day. Also in the second half, Kerry O'Neill caught every single puck out, and it really helped to push us on to become the first team in Ulster to win the All Ireland Senior Club Camogie Championship.
It was the most unreal feeling when the final whistle went. You know, it was a tough game, don't get me wrong. Drummond Inch were very, very good. Referee let the game go. There was plenty of scores. There was balls we should have got but didn't get. But the determination and the team play and the support of our supporters and our families, from our underage hurlers, footballers and camogie players right through to the oldest members in our club. The support was unreal. And I wouldn't want to win it anywhere else because the atmosphere was unbelievable. And the final whistle blew and it was just like, oh my God, is this real? This has actually happened. It was unbelievable.
If I had to describe it in one word, a dream.
Within no time at all, the final whistle blew and the cheers were for us, and I just remember thinking, standing corner back, I needed to get to Jane Adams. She's my sister. She worked her absolute life off to win an All Ireland, and she's actually got it. I didn't even think of myself at that time, and I can remember running down the pitch as fast as I could. She was away up the forward line, and our sister Laura, who also played but had just recently had a baby at the time, was running on. My mummy, who has been at every single match, always the first on the pitch with a bottle of water, was screaming, and we were all running for Jane. The whole team was running for Jane, and I just think it was just relief. It was just happiness that probably, you know, on a pitch I've never felt before, and just delight.
The final whistle, embracing the people who I'd grown up with and the people who I had grown up looking up to, was very special. I think of Grania Conley, who was my under-14 manager and under-16 manager, and here we were together winning an All-Ireland senior club. Also, seeing my parents and my family was very special, but my favourite part of the day was the bus arriving back at Rossa House on the Falls Road and seeing the crowd of people giving us a guard of honour into our clubhouse. It was so emotional. So many people had helped with our success, not just in 2008 as it had started a long time before that. I think of the two Maggies, Margaret Flynn and Margaret Armstrong, who had coached the majority of team when they first started Rossa, right up to the 2016 that got beat by Freshford, and it was every bit as much of their success as it was ours. And a final special mention to Jim Nelson, who was the Rossa manager when we got beat in 2006 against Freshford. Without his years of dedication and guidance, we wouldn't have got over the line in 2008.
When Rossa won the All-Ireland final in 2008, it was absolutely amazing. It's everything as a team that we had been building on all the previous years. And with a bit of luck that year, Rossa went on and won the All-Ireland final. And I was so proud, and I was absolutely delighted for all the girls who played that day. And it was an amazing atmosphere and absolutely amazing for the club. And that'll go down in the history books that Rossa, the All-Ireland Senior Camogie Champions 2008.
But I suppose the one for me, looking back, is more about the journey than it is about the medal. Yes, it's very nice to get nostalgic and have something to celebrate, but I was from Ballinascreen, and at that stage I thought I had hung my boots up. Gavin Duffy had I'd ordered hurls from him from school, and he said, Raymond Kennedy sister, you must be able to play camogie. So I ended up, even though I thought I was retired, getting roped in, and actually had fabulous years camogie with girls who really became family to me because they were so supportive and so welcoming and so good. And I suppose when you live in a big city and you're from the country, as you can hear, that it's so important to be part of a club. And O'Donovan Rossa are a fantastic club, and the way that everybody from the hurlers, the footballers, the underage, the committee members, the likes of Margaret Flynn, the two Maggies who maybe started a lot of the girls off, everybody got behind us, and it just became a real family affair.
Whenever I got up to start my speech after the match, I thought about all the people that had always came to our matches. I thought about when I had worked in my daddy's pubs and stuff in West Belfast, and a lot of people had said, good luck to you and hope yous can do it and hope yous can win in All Ireland, but maybe not really believing it. And whenever we did, I just thought, I'm so happy, I'm so proud that I'm from the club that I'm from. I remember saying in my speech that this isn't just for Antrim and Ulster, it was for the Falls Road, West Belfast, and that makes me really proud to be able to say that a wee club from West Belfast was able to win the ultimate prize in camogie, and we were the first people to ever be able to do it in all of Ulster, and that was a massive relief to me that the girls that have given so much time and effort, the families give so much time and effort, and our club gives so much time and effort. So I was delighted, just couldn't believe it.
Rossa's story tells us what can be achieved with the right attitude and the right people. They were in despair, they achieved their dreams. That's our show for this week. I thank you for joining us. I've been Ronan Scott. If you want more great stories, I encourage you to subscribe to Gaelic Life at gaeliclife.com.